Yo, what is up, my fallopian tubers? Cesario from the barrio. Coming back at you with another video for your butt. For your butt. Man, this is my wheelhouse right here. This is my jam. We're talking about, your strongest arms, your favorite arms in the outfield, man. Throws and stuff. This is my wheelhouse. I've said before when I was a kid, my dad played baseball his whole life, so every time we go to his game, I'd play with all the other kids of all the other players. And I used to play this game where wherever you were standing at, you threw it from there, and wherever the other person caught it from or got the ball, that's where he had to throw it from until, you won by pushing them farther, because your throws are farther. Man, so that's what I was known for, was my strong arm, man. Even today, that's one of my things, man. One of the things I look forward to in life is when I'm dragging the warning field out Dodger Stadium and the players are warming up, I just hope for one of the players to overthrow or miss the guy in the outfield, and the ball rolls to the warning track, and normally I grab the ball and throw it to the player, man, and man, I show him my zip. You know what I mean? I show him my zip, boy. My zip. All right. Love, man, and a lot of times the players always look at me like, whoa, because that, man, I show off my arm. I'll throw a rope to them wherever they're at. That's my thing, man. Man, I'm getting so excited. I love baseball, man. I'm ready to play. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Man, love me some baseball. And we're going to talk about arms, like I said, man. That's my jam right there, talking about arms. All right, so he wants you to talk about some of the strongest arms you've seen. So I'm going to start off with Bo Jackson. All right. Man, Bo Jackson, one of the greatest, some of the greatest throws I've ever seen. Great arm. Great arm. All right. Then we also got Vladimir Guerrero Sr. Man, could this guy just chuck that ball. This guy was one of my favorites because he was raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. He swung at everything just like we used to, man, when you play street ball. You swing at everything, and there's no walks, so, and if the guy, and obviously the best pitchers, when you're kids, they can't all throw strikes, so you swing at everything, and that's how he played, man, but some of the best throws ever, too, man. Great arm, all right, and probably what I would argue is one of the greatest arms is Yasiel Puig. Man, this dude, when, if you just started collecting or you weren't into the hobby in 2014 or baseball in period, this guy was supposed to be the greatest thing ever. And he was. The only thing, his lifestyle prevented him from achieving his full capability. But I got to see so many of his throws in person. I mean, wow. You want to talk about wow? Wow. This guy had an arm, probably the greatest arm ever. You know what I mean? But he just didn't last too long in MLB. His reputation preceded him. All right, but seriously, dude, just some of the greatest. Wow, that's the thing too. Is in the past, outfielders were rated by throwouts and putouts and stuff. But Yasiel Puig, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Sr. By the time these guys, baseball was wising up and people just wouldn't run on them. So they couldn't get the amount of putouts that people in the past would give out because they knew better than to run on these guys, on these arms. All right. And so those are my more recent guys that I actually seen in person. You know what I mean? There's people like Jose Guillen, probably the best thrower ever. You know what I mean? But that's the thing about careers. Jesse Barfield. That's why I have Jesse Barfield right here. This is just an empty box from 87 Tops. Fleer. One of my favorite sets ever because of the Will Clark. But Jesse Barfield, also one of the greatest arms I've seen growing up. But, like I said, that's the thing. It's statistics and stuff. And, man, just whatever you want to call it. But the next guy I want to bring up is Carl Furillo. Why I wanted to put him on this. This is a video response for Splendid Cards. I just totally forgot. This is a video response for Splendid Cards and wants you to see, well, I'm drunk and I'm going with the one take Caesar. All right, Carl Furillo, man. this guy, when I talk to old Dodger heads or the old car dealers at Frankenson's, I'm talking about, 2000 and stuff, and they would talk about arms. They always talk about Carl Ferrilla probably had the greatest arm ever. Okay? Ever is what they'll say, but is there a bias because they're Dodger fans? I don't know. Maybe. But Carl Ferrilla, man, I got to put him on this list. And, obviously, probably, I want to say probably the number one arm ever that people talk about is Roberto Clemente. All right? If you didn't know, he was supposed to be a Dodger. He was a Dodger. But he went away to the Pirates. Imagine what could have been if he would have stood a Dodger. All right? But he has so much fan base. And the next guy I want to talk about, the last guy I want to say is he's a legend. Now, what I say by a legend is I have this thing with I'm more intrigued when you want to talk about who threw the fastest pitch. I want to know who pitchers say threw the fastest pitch. And most pitchers will tell you that Steve Dalkowski threw the fastest pitch ever. People were saying that he was throwing 110, 113 miles an hour, but there was no radar guns back then, so you couldn't tell. All right? But Steve Dalkowski probably has the greatest arm ever. So if he was in the outfield, I can imagine how far he would throw it. And, he was throwing, but he wasn't accurate. He was not accurate, so that takes away from there. So my legend arm is going to be Glenn Gurbis. Now, man, Gurbis, I don't have his any of his cards. I think we have a card show coming up this Friday, the Burbank card show. It's like a few miles from my house, not far from my house. But I'm going to try to get his card just, because this video response just got me hyped up about arms, man. And man, I just want to go outside and throw some heat. I want to throw some heat. I love throwing the baseball far, man. And but Glenn Gurbis, legend. And that's the thing about being a legend is legend is almost hearsay. So when you ask professional players, people who threw the farthest, who do you think throws the farthest, has the best arm, you're gonna hear Glenn Gurbis. I think he has a 56 tops, man. I need to get that. I need to get me again Glenn Gurbis because I don't have one. This video's got me hyped up. But anyways, guys, boom, there's my video response. Legendary arm, Glenn Gurbis. He only had like a 3-year career. Legendary arm, Steve Dalkowski. I can imagine how far he would have thrown if he played the outfield. What is considered to be the best documented arm is Roberto Clemente. A bias I hear in Dodgerland is that Carl Ferrilla had the best arm. Man, best arm I've ever seen in person is the wild horse, Yasiel Puig. One of my favorites to watch throw, but I never got to see any of his great throws in person, was Vladimir Guerrero. But his highlights were spectacular, testicular. And like someone I used to watch as a kid and see some of his throws in the All-Star games and stuff like that is Bo Jackson. So there you go. Splendid card. Sorry I didn't mention you at first. But yeah, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Yeah. All right. Love the hobby, people. Just keep collecting baseball cards forever. I say, ciao.